thing I love is that the Rangers-Devils are ranked 1 and 2. That rivalry is officially back. Not that it ever went anywhere, but, I mean, it's just added a little bit of fuel to the fire this offseason with all the moves that both teams have done, and then you get this little 1-2 punch here in the prospect pool. It just makes it fun again.
I just love in the metro New York area. So you're talking about this past season that happened. The talk was the New York Islanders and where the New York Islanders have gotten on. And we know about them sweeping the Pittsburgh Penguins. We know about them being a team that you have to reckon with. And I don't know, thinking back, I don't know of a time where all three teams, Devils, Rangers, Islanders, were all coming up at the same time. It usually had one team dominating where the other one was falling off and going through their transition time. But, yeah, that's fun. It's fun to watch. I want to see that neck of the woods just hammering out points. It's going to be fun. It's going to be very fun. But this team, I'll tell you what, there's a couple teams in this league that I'm really watching, but I don't know if there's any more than the New York Rangers as far as what they have. They have the sustainability with finally their youth is coming up through underneath. They're always going to have the ability to sign free agents. A lot of exciting times for the New York Ranger fans.
A lot of people out there want to see what Kaapo Kakko can do. We heard from Chris about his organizational expectations for this youngster. What about your perspective as a guy who's made that transition? What should we expect from Kaapo Kakko year one in the NHL?
Well, I think that it's a situation where you've got a player that, let's not underestimate what it means to have to go out there and make the moves that they made and been able to get at Artemi Panarin. And what I mean by that is, let's say Artemi Panarin was not on this team right now and he went and signed somewhere else. Kakko might be having some issues with, you want to be an impact player, but you don't want to come into a situation where if he came onto this roster, he is the guy you're circling on the roster. So Artemi's going to take some of that in New York. So I think that this is huge on a bunch of different levels. Artemi Panarin's a heck of a player. He's going to make this team instantaneously better, but it's also going to make the transition for Kaapo Kakko better because he doesn't have to carry the workload of offense. Sure, do we think he's a little more poised to make an impact than Jack Hughes right off the hop? Yeah, because he's physically mature. But this now gives him the opportunity to, hey, don't be feeling it from day one. You don't have to feel that stress from day one. We got guys who can create offense. You find your way. I think it's going to work out really well for him.
A guy you really like, K'Andre Miller. You asked Chris about that. This was their first-round pick back 2 years ago. What do you like so much about him?
Well, we know about Adam Fox, and he's a puck-moving defenseman. I'm talking to somebody close to the Rangers organization that works for the Rangers organization about K'Andre Miller. And he said, you know what we kind of like about him? He's a little bit like a Seth Jones.
It's not bad.
And he's got that size. He's got a little bit of that thunder in his game. And he can move around the ice really well and do a little bit of everything. So he's a little bit more of a project. I'd say it's going to take a little bit more time. I think defensemen in the NHL take a little longer to get there, especially bigger guys. But he can play. A native hometown of St. Paul, Minnesota, as you see right there. It's going to be very exciting to see what he can be on this team. And listen, we talk about ranking these guys, the top 50 prospects, New York Rangers having 4 of them. Well, this guy, we'll let the cat out of the bag. He was 51 on our list. So if you want to extend that to 51, the Rangers have 5 of the top 51. So it's pretty impressive.
They're ranked number 1.
Yeah.